the net light that shines. Load shedding raps, you need to black out for now until you're standing on the stage throwing caps and gowns.
The future is wherever I will be. So we go with it and we grow from this to the dream. So I will take the opportunity. And we go with it and we grow from it.
Ikambalam liyaqhakazela ingqondo yam ishapi yasingela mizamo yasekhaya andisodelela dikhuthele dikwazi uzimela.
Spread love across the African continent, cause we know that's where the struggle is prominent. The mind is a weapon and you better sharpen it. Dreams don't pay bills, better get a scholarship or give me the finance. I'm gonna buy land or own an island just because I can. Travel my mind map, Egypt to Thailand, and see the whole new world like a blind man. I see you see me, we see dreams. I see you see me, we see dreams. I see you see me, we see dreams. I see you see me, we see dreams.
Cause I'm the key. The future is wherever I will be. So we go with it and we go from this to the dream. So I will take the opportunity. And we go with it and we go from it.
It's a new day, nothing holding me back and I'm okay. Open heart, open mind, never falling behind. See I'm loving the path that I've chosen. I believe in the places I'm going, cause I know that I'm free. And I'm starting to be a little bit curious.
As the world turns and it spins, never let your searchlight go dim, be a little bit curious. Sky is the limit above the roof, but nothing is more important than the youth. Damn, it's not always as clear cut as it looks. Some of the greatest truths will never make it in books. So whether your classes are on computers or taught by a tutor, you gotta do it for a better future.
Cause I'm the key. The future is wherever I will be. So we go with it and we grow from it to the dream. So I will take the opportunity.
And it spins, never let your searchlight go dim, be a little bit curious. The sky is the limit above the roof, and nothing is more important than the...
Good evening to all of those joining us this evening, and a very, very warm welcome to this open evening for UCT Online High School. I'm so thrilled that you've all been able to join us. My name is Tessa Venter, and I am the Executive Head of School for UCT Online High School. I'm so delighted that you are spending some of your evening with us tonight, and I really hope that tonight we're able to give you a glimpse into the incredible school and community that is UCT Online High School. I will be spending some time talking to you about what you as a guardian should be thinking about when it comes to high school, and specifically what you should be thinking about when it comes to online high school, what this transition might look like for your learner as they enter high school. And also, I really hope to give you a glimpse into what UCT OHS is all about. Now, I promise you, it's not just going to be me doing all the talking this evening. And so I'd really like to take this opportunity to introduce my incredible colleagues and fellow panelists. So at UCT Online High School, we also want to ensure that our learners are not just academically thriving, but we're developing them as holistic individuals as well. So tonight you're going to hear from our student success team, who's represented by Kaylee, and our wellbeing team, who's represented by Daniela. I'm also very excited to have our Grade 8 Guardian Forum representative, Tamara, joining us this evening. She was in your shoes this time a year ago, making those big decisions about what high school would look like for her child. Speaking about how this evening is going to run, thank you so much to all of those who have submitted questions that you are hoping to have answered this evening. I really hope that as we go through this evening, we are able to answer many of those questions. However, please don't panic if we don't get to a question that you asked. Our incredible admissions team is going to reach out to you individually after this webinar so that they can connect with you, get to learn about you as a family, and hopefully answer any questions that we don't get to this evening. So let's jump straight into thinking about high school, thinking about online school, and thinking about what that transition could look like or should look like for yourself and your child. And what I would like to do to start off with is to ask all of you who've joined us this evening, of you are familiar with online school. So if you can just use your emojis at the bottom there, give me a little thumbs up over there if you are familiar with online school, a little thumbs down if you're not so familiar with online school. I'm not going to count them. My expertise is as an English teacher and school principal, not so much as a maths teacher. So please forgive me if I don't count them and tally them all up. Some who are familiar, some who are not totally familiar. That's really great. It's good to have that mix, that dynamic here as well. And I'm hoping that I do justice this evening in explaining a little bit about online school and online high school as well. So what actually are we talking about? What are some factors that we need to think about? So I've identified 4 major factors that you as a parent need to think about when it comes to high school, but also when it comes to online school. And those 4 are the things that you can see on your screen. Number 1, your child. Number 2, your family and you as a guardian, so important. Number 3, school support, what is and isn't available. And number 4, the curriculum and the delivery method of that curriculum as well. So I know that choosing the right high school it's a huge step. I'm a mom. I know what it's like when you have to make those key decisions for your child, for their future, for their education. And it can feel really intimidating and overwhelming. There are so many options, and it can feel like you just don't know which way to turn when you're thinking about what is the best thing for my child at this point in their life as well. And over the years, these options have actually increased, something that's become more and more popular over the years, and particularly as we shifted into COVID and then post-COVID, is this idea of online schooling. It was relatively new in South Africa prior to COVID, and it became something that's become more and more mainstream, more and more popular through the pandemic and post-pandemic as well. So I want to start by focusing in on some of the things to think about when it comes to your child specifically. So when you think about your child and when you think about their high school experience and their high school journey and what that transition is going to look like, one of the key things to think about is your child's interests, their personality, and their wiring. So our wonderful head of wellbeing, Danny, who you'll hear from a little bit later, she often speaks about this in being so key in understanding what will and won't work for your child. As an example, at UCT Online High School, we use something called structured flexibility, which means that learners have structure to their week. So on a Monday morning, the content for that week is released onto the online campus. They have access to all of that for the week, but there is flexibility in the week to determine when they do their work. So they're held accountable, it's boxed in a way, there's structure, there's focus for them, they're supported in what they need to do when. But if you know that your child works better in the afternoon, that's amazing because they have that content. They're not restricted to having to work at 8 o'clock through that content on a Monday morning. It's there, it's available. They need to get through it by the end of the week. But if you know that they work better at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday, and that's when they actually are focused in the zone to look at their maths, they have the flexibility to do that. This concept is something that really works for learners who need guidance as what to do and how to do it, but they don't necessarily enjoy somebody standing over their shoulder and watching them, or they don't enjoy having to have maths, then English, then social studies, then technology, and back to back, back to back. The second thing to think about is your family and you as a guardian. So one of the things that I really love about our school is that we see your child's high school journey as a partnership between us as a school, obviously our learners, but you as the guardian as well. I think it's so important to understand that online school isn't just traditional school on a screen. It does come with different expectations for our guardians. You really are our partners in this education journey. We can't do it without you. So you might not get, as an example, as a guardian, you might not get the same casual interactions or updates that you'd get from a physical school, which is why things like staying connected with us is so important. You won't have that casual car park chat that maybe you're used to. And so the ability to connect with us in different ways and for you to find out information in different ways becomes so important. It's so critical that we keep you informed and involved. Things like our connected app, our weekly notifications, these are things that will help track your child's progress, keep you involved in their day-to-day, keep you involved in where they're at from an academic journey as well. Those are the tools that as an online school are so critical for us equipping you as a guardian to have those conversations. It's also really important to think about how involved you want to be in your child's daily learning and how much feedback you need to support them the best. And these are the kind of tools that we hope support you as a guardian to do that. The next thing, and I've touched on this briefly, is around the support that a school offers. So I love to think about every unique child that we have in our school and how every school, there's a space for every child, but not every school works for every single child either. Every child also adjusts to high school differently. Some children are super independent, other learners need more support to settle in, but what we generally see is it often takes around 3 to 6 months to settle into a new space, and this is in a brick and mortar school setting as well, so regardless of whether it's online or brick and mortar. And moving from traditional to online school can actually take a little bit longer as well. There's so much to get used to. So something that is important to understand when selecting a high school and selecting an online school for your child is what can you as a guardian expect as support and what support can your learner expect as well, given that this is a major transition point in your learner's academic journey. So as an example, we understand that our grade 8s need extra support. That's why we have dedicated support coaches, and our support coaches tailor their approach by grade. So they might cover different topics during check-ins, and they might adjust what is on offer to our learners, depending on the grade that they're in and the cohort that is in that homeroom session. Our support coaches, and you'll hear more about them a little bit later from Kaylee, are also your main point of contact as a guardian, and it gives you direct access to the school as well. So some of the questions you need to be asking when you're thinking about school is, how am I as a guardian supported? What does that look like for me? Then finally, you need to ask a question around curriculum. Curriculum and how is that curriculum delivered? Again, and I want to re-emphasize, delivery is so important because online school is not a physical school. It is going to look different. It has to look different. when it comes to curriculum, there are so many different options. We have our national curriculum, our South African national curriculum. You've got a UK style curriculum. You've got the IB, the American GED. I mean, the list of acronyms is it's just endless, and it can be confusing at times as well. So what I want to encourage you as a guardian to ask yourself when thinking about high school is what curriculum is going to set your child up for success? And to think about that is to think about what does post-school potentially look like for your child? What does that look like? And going back again to that wiring, that interest, that personality piece. As an example, a child who wants to study at a South African Tertiary Studies Institute or go straight into the workforce in South Africa will have fewer administrative hoops to jump through if they follow the national curriculum, which is known as CAPS. There will be more administrative hoops to jump through if they follow an international curriculum, but they're hoping to go to a South African university. So at UCT Online High School, we do offer the South African National Curriculum, which is known as CAPS, and we have a large number of subjects on offer in both grade 8 and 9, as well as grade 10 to 12. Something that I'm really proud of as well is that we offer 4 South African languages as first additional language options as well. So there are lots of options. And speaking of curriculum and all things delivery, I would like to showcase a little bit of what our online campus looks like. As I mentioned, online learning looks different. No classrooms, no whiteboards, no marked notebooks. All of our learning at UCT Online High School happens on the online campus. And I'm really hoping that this quick video is going to give you a snapshot of what that looks like.
Our online campus is at the center of it all. Every day, your child logs in and sees their weekly work plan, a live, interactive view of everything they need to complete in a week for every subject. It's the most comprehensive timetable they'll ever need.
So basically, in summary, our learners follow weekly work plans, they attend live sessions with subject specialists, there's remediation sessions if they need extra help, and there's also the opportunity for them to take part in discussion forums. But I want to dig a little bit deeper into the curriculum and what we have on offer and how we deliver it. Okay, so we use an approach called the flipped classroom model, where learners work through the carefully structured content online before a live session. So every Monday, as I mentioned, that content becomes available to learners and they have the opportunity to go and work through it. Now, it's very carefully designed, it's very carefully put together so that there's structure, there's support to enable understanding. Once they have had a chance to start working through that content, they're also invited to weekly live sessions, which we call AMAs. And this is the opportunity for a learner to engage with their subject specialist, where the focus is on applying the content that they've had, applying the content that they have had the chance to start working through. So if we jump to the next slide, you can see that this is our wonderful subject specialist. That's very obviously not me. That's our wonderful subject specialist, Miss Smith, who's our grade 8 and 9 social sciences subject specialist. And this is at the start of one of her AMA sessions. So by the time a learner comes into Miss Smith's AMA for social sciences for that week, they should have already started working through the topic, the content that was available at the beginning of the week, and they are ready to start applying that content in their lesson. So if we jump to the next slide, you can see that what Ms. Smith was focusing on in this particular AMA session was all about settlements. So a reminder that learners would have had content that they started working through to introduce them to the concept of settlements. What do they need to know about it? And now they have the opportunity to engage with exam-style questions, test-style questions, to do activities with the guidance of the subject specialist, but with that underlying understanding of the basic content as well. Now, if we look at how the content is structured on the online campus, it's not just information overload that we've thrown at learners and just expected them to make sense of it all for themselves and figure out what to do. We use a very carefully designed approach called I do, we do, you do. And if we jump to the next slide, what that actually means is that when they engage with the content, the first section that they see is I do. This is where a concept is introduced, it's where it's taught, and it's demonstrated to the learner by a subject expert. We then have the we do section. So this is an informal opportunity for them to practice in a safe space, maybe have some informal questions that are posed to them, where they then get feedback on, yes, you got this right, or no, you didn't get this right. And then finally, the you do phase is where a learner is set up to be able to independently demonstrate mastery of a concept. This phase usually takes place in the form of an assessment, cycle test, or exam. So you can see it's very carefully structured so that it's not overwhelming in terms of working through that content, and that there's a very clear pathway that a learner follows before they go into that live session. As we're talking about the curriculum as well, it's also really important for me to let you know what obviously curriculum we offer and what subjects we have on offer as well. So as I mentioned earlier, we offer the CAPS curriculum, which is the local South African curriculum, and learners finish school by writing their National Senior Certificate, which we know as matric. There are two distinct phases at UCT Online High School. So is grade 8 and 9, which we call senior phase, and then there is grade 10, 11, and 12, which is called FET phase. Now in grade 8 and 9, all learners take the subjects that you see on your screen. They have the choice of their FAL. So if we go to the next slide, you can see that all of our grade 8 and 9 learners take English home language. They select a first additional language. They take mathematics, life orientation, social sciences, creative arts, technology, EMS, and natural sciences. In the FET phase, they make subject selections. So during the second half of a learner's grade 9 year, learners will have an opportunity to choose their subjects for the next phase. The FET phase, which as I mentioned, covers grade 10, 11, and 12. Learners in the FET phase will take a minimum of 7 subjects, and the compulsory subjects that they will have to take are English home language, a first additional language, again, there's a choice, life orientation, and then they must choose between mathematics and mathematics literacy. Then they select 3 additional subjects. Now we have a range of subjects on offer at UCT Online High School. So I won't go into the specifics of each of these subjects, but the subjects that we have on offer for grade 10, 11, and 12 are physical sciences, life sciences, history, geography, accounting, business studies, economics, CAT, which is computer application technology, visual arts, and information technology. When learners get to the end of their FET phase, so when they get to grade 12 or matric, they write external National Senior Certificate exams, your matric exams, and our examination body that we are registered with is Sakai. That is a lot of information at academics, but I hope gives a really good snapshot into what's on offer and some of the ways in which your child will experience their academic journey at UCT Online High School. I'm now delighted to introduce my colleague Kaylee to speak to you in more detail about the support we offer our learners and parents. So Kaylee, over to you.
Cool. Thank you so much, Mrs. Venter, and good evening, Guardians. It's such a pleasure to be here with you, and I'm really excited to introduce you to the heartbeat of our learner support here at UCT Online High School, our support coaches. Support coaches are more than just mentors. They are champions for our learners' journeys. Whether your child is building confidence in a new environment or figuring out how to manage their time, our team is here every step of the way. We're passionate about creating spaces where learners feel encouraged, supported, and empowered to grow academically and personally. The next slide will show one of our grade 8 support coaches, Coach Fatima, explaining her role in your and your learners' academic journey.
Hello, my name is Fatima, and I'm a support coach here at UCT Online High School. And I'm sure you're wondering, who is a support coach? Support coaches are here to champion you throughout your academic journey. We're excited about watching you succeed, holding you accountable, and navigating through this journey with you. And that's me, not just me. I'm part of a whole dedicated team of enthusiastic support coaches. What exactly is a support coach? Each learner belongs to a homeroom. A homeroom consists of a select number of learners that is overseen by a support coach. Your support coach is your first point of contact for both learners and guardians for all non-subject related queries. We are passionate support personnel who are deeply committed to helping you as one of our learners succeed through your current academic year. We are here to support you in developing positive learner behavior and to help you succeed in an online schooling environment. You can expect this to be very different to a traditional brick and mortar school.
Now that you've heard a snippet of what our support coaches do, I'd like to share how we'll support you and your learner through the onboarding and academic phases of the year. We understand that high school and online learning is a big shift, especially for those transitioning from a traditional school setup. And that is why we place such an important emphasis on our onboarding processes. Before any academic work begins, your child will take part in an online comprehensive orientation that covers all of the essentials, from navigating our platform that Mrs. Fenter took you through earlier, to submitting assessments and understanding their learning path. They'll also have the chance to meet their support coach and peers in a warm welcome session designed to ease them into our school community. But the support doesn't stop with the learner. We believe in a strong support triad, the partnership between the learner, their guardian, and us as a school. And that is why we offer a guardian onboarding program as well. The program is designed to give you everything that you need to feel confident and equipped, including an overview of our policies, support structures, and how to stay engaged with your child's process. Once learners are settled in, the real journey begins, and our support coaches walk that journey with your learner. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, learners will join a live check-in session that happens bright and early at 8:05 each morning. And this session aims to give learners a routine and build connections to ensure that they stay up to date with important news and school announcements. In addition, we host support pit stops, which are interactive sessions that focus on building key skills like digital literacy, exam preparation, and connecting with peers across the grade. During critical times, such as assessment periods, we will also host boot camps to help learners stay on track and to ensure that they are set up to tackle the exams or cycle tests. And of course, guardians, you are not left out of the fun. Guardians will also receive continuous tips and tricks on how to support your learner during key milestones at UCT Online High School. Guardians can also book time with your support coach to gauge how your learning is doing, and these are one-on-one guardian engagement calls that are available throughout the year. Guardians are also invited to join webinars throughout the year to stay informed and connected. In the next slide, we'll hear more about one of our live sessions, Connect and Grow, from one of our support coaches, Coach Marcel.
So what is Connect and Grow? It's honestly one of my favorite parts of the week. It's a small, relaxed space where we get to slow down a bit and talk about the stuff that really matters, but that we don't always get to do in our busy schedules. Things like who we are, what motivates us, how to set boundaries, how to deal with stress, and how to build confidence and connection. It's not a class. It's not marked. There are no wrong answers. It's just a real space to check in with yourself, connect with others, and grow, personally, emotionally, and socially.
As a guardian, you will also have access to your own powerful tools to keep up with your learner's progress through our Guardian portal and mobile app. You will be able to track how many hours your learner spends in their live sessions and on the online campus. I must apologize. My pets are very excited about the Guardian portal and mobile app. So if you can hear them, please do forgive them. You can also gauge your learners' attendance to academic live sessions. You can see your learners' outstanding and upcoming assessments. And of course, you can see your learners' assessment grades. Guardians are encouraged to keep updated and access the Guardian portal and Guardian mobile app on a weekly basis. In this way, you can have conversations with your child about areas of concern or have conversations with them about the good efforts that they have put into their academics. So, support coaches don't just cheer from the sidelines, they are actively involved with ensuring that their learners are supported and meeting academic requirements. Support coaches are able to monitor things like assessment submissions, academic engagement, and our team quickly reacts when there are signs that a learner requires additional support. If concerns arise, you'll hear from our team and you'll receive interventions, and your support coach will be available to chat through the best step forward. We're excited to partner with you and your child during this exciting transition into high school. Our support coaches are here to walk alongside you and to provide encouragement, structure, and accountability every step of the way. We're looking forward to seeing you soon. I'll hand back over to Mrs. Fenter.
Thank you so much, Kaylee. Our support coaches really are true champions and really support our learners and guardians every step of the way. I'd now like to hand over to Danny Randall, who is our Head of Wellbeing and Engagement, to speak to you about the incredible work that her team does in supporting learners and guardians at UCT Online High School. So Danny, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Fenter. What an absolute honor and joy it is to be engaging with you this evening. I've seen some learners popping up as well, and it's just so wonderful to see you taking charge of your education. So lovely to see your faces with your guardians this evening. It gives me great pleasure to introduce my team. As Mrs. Fenter introduced, I'm Danny Randall, the Head of Wellbeing and Engagement. This is my 18th year working with adolescents and in a school environment. I have a background in educational psychology and a master's specifically focusing on researching the adolescent. We have Chaz Lee, who is a registered counselor on our team. She's very passionate about psychoeducation and group work. And then we have a wonderful Sarah Kelly, who is a registered occupational therapist, who is in charge of our academic support. I'd like to chat a little bit about our philosophy on redefining excellence, and Mrs. Fenter touched on this a little bit earlier, but we don't believe that excellence is limited to academics or sports or cultural achievement. Instead, what we strive to redefine is excellence being the development of the whole person, looking at their voice, their individuality, and their lived experience. True excellence, we believe, lies in adaptability rather than resilience. While resilience helps us endure, adaptability empowers growth. I'm going to just leave that there for a moment. We so often speak about how our children need to be resilient, but if they are adaptable, we empower growth. It allows our learners to view setbacks not as failures, but rather as a chance to learn, to evolve, and to try again. What a beautiful notion. Our role is to equip learners with the tools to navigate diverse and unpredictable paths by helping them align, here it is, their strengths, their personalities, and their interests into a personal toolkit. This toolkit is one that can prepare them to face life's challenges, social, academic, or personal, with confidence, creativity, and purpose. So together with you, our guardians, we are committed to nurturing this broader, more meaningful vision of success and excellence. I'm very proud to show you a snippet of our Wellbeing and Engagement website. This is only accessible to our learners registered at UCT Online High School. We've decided to take this path so that you, our guardians, can sit with and journey with your learners when engaging in our content. We update this website every 2 weeks. We try and keep it cool and topical, and it's a multimodal way of engaging with psychoeducation. We have a socio-emotional support page. We have an academic support page, engagement, something that touches on identity and pathways when we're looking at career, subject choice, and what happens after school. And then we have a wonderful engaging space where we have a Wellbeing Waves podcast, where we get guest speakers, learners, and expertise within our staff to share topics of interest in short nuggets that we often like to show in our assemblies as well. I'm going to take you through a bit of the socio-emotional support in a little bit more in depth. When we look at our socio-emotional support, we are always there for emergency cases. So safeguarding is always a priority. A learner can contact their support coach and they immediately notify the wellbeing and engagement team. We offer group counseling on a more long-term basis where we have open groups and closed groups. We do continuous staff support and training. As I mentioned, we update our website every 2 weeks with new articles. We host awareness campaigns, the podcast series. We offer a robust internship program. We do believe in giving back and also bringing in new people into this field. We collaborate with external organizations for long-term referrals and psychoeducation. We are heavily invested in our scholarship program, and we host many Guardian, learner, and staff webinars. To touch on the academic support. What is academic support? Our academic support team aims to improve accessibility within our schools so that learners with diverse learning needs and barriers to learning can participate equitably alongside their peers and achieve success. Here again, personality, wiring, and interests. That's success if we are aligning them correctly. We offer a termly academic support series. These are in the form of live sessions in term 2 and term 3, and then we have pre-recorded podcasts in our other terms, which are accessible on our website. And in term 2 and term 3, our support coaches refer a list to us of their highest academic at-risk learners. And then we reach out to those identified learners and we offer them to join our academic support series. We also host a Learning Differences Society. This is a passion project of ours, and it's creating a supportive community for grade 8 to 12 learners that have a known learning difference. So these could be learners with ADHD, dyslexia, or visual impairment. The list is long, and this runs on a weekly basis. We also have the content that's uploaded on our website. We do concessions approval and implementation. Learners with a known barrier to learning can apply for concessions such as extra time, a reader, and a scribe. These are approved internally for our senior phase, grade 8 and grade 9, and then Sakai, our registration body for the FET phase, grade 10 to grade 12. I've just touched on a few. The list is very long, and our admissions team can certainly assist you if you want to find out more about concessions and accommodations. Then we also have a Learn About Learning Differences course for our support coaches and faculty. And this is an online asynchronous course that we've developed that focuses on building skills in creating an inclusive online learning environment for a range of barriers to learning. And this is a compulsory professional development series that is for all our support coaches and faculty. Then some of the fun stuff, engagement, and I'm sure many of you are very interested to know about this and should be asking this important question, because in adolescence, the great developmental milestone is engaging and a group identity with your peers. So we are very cognizant of that, and this is why we intentionally offer these beautiful engagement spaces for our learners. We host virtual clubs, and this is about community building and connection across grades. And I've given some examples there of our current virtual clubs that are being hosted, both by external influencers and members of our community, as well as internally by our staff who have certain interests and passions. And then we have learner leadership team and staff champs who meet with them every week or every other week. And our learner leaders are representatives of our school. We have 30 learner leaders this year. We host live assemblies every 2 weeks, many webinars and events. And then we have a rewards and incentives program. And we believe that effective learning hinges on fostering positive learning behaviors. So at our school, we leverage the principles of behavioral science and rewards to cater to the unique developmental stages and the motivations of our adolescents. So our rewards and incentives program is a platform where our learners can earn tokens by attending live sessions, mastery boot camps, and submitting their work timeously, and then they can purchase on our reward store, either items or experiences or go into raffles. And it's a wonderful, engaging way that really gives a bit of that balance between extrinsic and intrinsic motivation when it comes to schooling. I have some videos that I'd like to now showcase some of our engagement pieces. So I'm going to hand over to the next slide, which will talk a bit about our awards program from one of our learner leaders.
Hi, my name is Chirido Aaron Funyu. I'm part of your Matric Leadership Squad and Scholarship and Mentorship Squad. Today, we'll be delving into UCT Online High School's rewards program. What is the rewards program all about? Well, this program uses extrinsic awards in order to encourage students for logging onto the online campus, engaging with course material, attending live sessions, and accessing and completing mastery checks and assignments. This is usually given off in the form of points, which are redeemable in the reward store for amazing prizes. The excitement and motivation that is gained through accessing and purchasing rewards fuels students' engagement in the online space. The rewards are endless. Imagine getting free weekly access to your favorite gym, access to certain websites and courses, discounts on your favorite items and books, podcast mics, even sessions with people from certain careers. All of these just to celebrate the small and huge wins of prioritizing and actively engaging with all your studies and your course content. One might ask, how do you get so many points in the rewards program? Well, it's not about studying until you're burnt out or studying for incredibly long hours or trying to attend every single live session, even when you have clashes with your schedules or you have other priorities outside of school. It's about preparing beforehand, making sure that your schedule aligns with your strengths and prioritizing what is important. It's about checking your schedule, making sure there are no clashes with certain activities that you need to do, as well as your classes. And remember, you don't have to be perfect. We all have different schedules and priorities. Some weeks are better than others, some days a little more challenging than other days. These rewards and points are not there to indicate which students are better at what, which students log more onto the online campus. It's about celebrating the small and big wins of accomplishing your goals, completing your work, and doing your absolute best to engage in the online space.
Thank you, Erin. We're now going to show a snippet of our UCT's Got Talent. We launched our first really formal show last year. Some of you may have seen our learners were on the Espresso show performing as well. And every time I watch this, I get quite teary and choked up. So I hope this snippet moves you too.
They were just the lovers, sitting in the car, listening to Blonde, falling for each other, thinking orange skies, being super child.
I don't know how to feel.
You are the source of my salvation. You are, you are, you are.
But I can't bring myself to swim when I am drowning in this silence, baby. Feel the world around me. I had no time to choose. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized.
I see we have many guardians who share my passion for the hidden curriculum of life, which is so important to run parallel to the academics as well. I'm now going to hand over to a snippet about the leadership squad.
Hello, UCT Online High School. I'm Musika Landela and I'm proud to be part of the 2024 Leadership Squad. And I'm excited to share with you what it's like to be a learner leader. Being a learner leader has been a journey of discovery in understanding true leadership. It's not about standing alone, but about collaborating as a cohesive team. It's about harnessing collective strengths to achieve shared goals rather than seeking individual recognition, or the spotlight. Through our collaborative efforts within the leadership squad, I've learned firsthand how diverse perspectives enrich and elevate our ideas into something very impactful. At UCT Online High School, being a learner leader means actively shaping experiences for others, whether organizing welcoming events for new grade 8 learners or leading virtual clubs. Every initiative is a chance to foster school spirit and unity among peers. Alongside that, you gain privileged access to information for school assemblies. You get all the updates before everyone else. Kind of like being this cool secret agent, but without the spy gadgets. It's a role filled with both excitement and responsibility, and I am so grateful for the chance to contribute to our amazing school community. Thank you.
Love that. Without the gadgets, secret spy agents, but it's just so wonderful to hear learners who've done a full year of leadership and to still speak so positively about it. Before I close my section, we're going to show you a learner reflection on our virtual clubs.
Hello, good day. My name is Sandile Khatiri. I am a grade 12 learner at UCT Online High School, and I am part of the Master Baker Club. And being part of a virtual club is so cool because you get to do the things that you love at home and get the opportunity to learn new skills, enjoy your hobbies, and to build an online community. Virtual clubs make you feel less alone, less depressed and anxious, and full of excitement for the days ahead. They also offer a social support system and a sense of belonging that lowers stress and anxiety, creating a better, more balanced atmosphere for both academic and personal development, and encourages the development of a diverse and accepting where all the students, whatever their differences, wherever they come from, feel accepted and cherished.
So, in closing, I'd like to leave us with this thought that together, let us inspire our learners to view success as something more holistic and meaningful, built not just on achievements, but on the courage to adapt, grow, and thrive in a complex and ever-changing world. I'll hand back over to you, Mrs. Venter.
Thank you so much, Danny. I see these clips often, but every single time I see them, every single time I hear from our learners, it just reminds me of this incredible community, this connection that we're building across learners and families all over South Africa, which I think is really, really special. Speaking of special, I am so delighted to be joined this evening by Tamara. Tamara is one of our grade 8 parents. She sits on the Guardian Forum, and like many of you, a year ago was having to make some decisions around high school for her child. So Tamara, thank you so much for joining me this evening and taking time out of your busy day to answer some questions that I have for you.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I don't know how good I'm going to be. I don't know if I can follow that amazing clip of all those kids with so much talent, but I'm going to try my best. Bear with me.
Thanks so much, Tamara. So I guess my first question is really, what made you as a mom, as a guardian, think about online high school for your child?
So, to be honest, we were not accepted at the first school of choice. If anyone has been through the process of applying for schools on the WCED forums or whichever province you're in, our number one school, due to space issues at most public schools, our daughter was not accepted at our school of choice. So her dad and her stepdad and I researched, what other options did we have? And a major factor for us was fit, finding a school that our child would fit into and flourish in. Our daughter is a brain tumor survivor. She has a facial palsy. And from that perspective, as a parent, knowing that an online high school would provide her with the education that she needs and navigating everything that's new with high school without having to face any potential teasing and bullying, it was a safer space for her. But when it came to choosing UCT, online high school specifically, what we had derived from our research was that many other online schools only had plans for certain grades, so they didn't go all the way up to matric at that point. And for me, with every new grade that they would implement, it would come with its own set of challenges, and I didn't want teething problems for my learner in every year of her high school. Yeah, I think that UCT OHS was also the only one, from what we had researched, that mentioned support coaches for the learners, and that scored major points for me.
Tamara, thank you so much for sharing a bit of your journey and your family's journey as well. You spoke about doing like so much research and talking to people and trying to understand this landscape. And I think that's so key for all parents in understanding and doing their own research. But what was it specifically about UCT Online High School that you felt suited your daughter?
So I think there's the convenience aspect. She's also a very dedicated child, so she thrives on her independence, getting up on time, making sure she's on time for school and that type of thing. She likes it, so I knew that she would be proud of it and her abilities in it. So knowing my child, I knew that this would be a good thing for her. But more so, it suits her learning style better, following a written instruction. So something that is, she's watching it the whole time. And while there is a teacher actually physically teaching, there's also a slide. So the combination of the two, hearing it and it being a visual, it helps her. And when they get to the we do section, where they can pause on those slides and focus on that a little bit, it allowed her to catch up with something or focus more on a specific point. Whereas if you're in a brick and mortar school and you're worrying about falling behind, so you're trying to keep up with the rest of the class, so that in that sense, that learning style suits her a lot better. Also, we live in a digital age. My child is someone who's grown up in online gaming platforms, and she has a YouTube channel. So being able to learn in a space that you're already comfortable in and that you're enjoying, I think that makes a difference. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to think about these digital native children that we're all raising and what that looks like for them and their education experience. Tamara, I only have 2 more questions for you, so I won't keep you here the whole night. But I'd love to know a little bit about what the experience at UCT Online High School has been like so far, both for your daughter and for yourself as a mom.
The experience is definitely positive for my daughter and for myself. We can both attest to receiving assistance timeously, having our questions answered, but my absolute best is the Guardian portal. I think that being able to have a look at my daughter's progress and daily or weekly and connect with her then, it just takes the pressure off and that anxiety of waiting for a termly meeting to know what your child's results were like. And not when you're that anxious, you don't always react to the concerns in a very constructive manner. So doing it, like, being able to check it on my phone and then go and have a chat with her and see if there's anything that she needs help with or anything that I can assist with, I think that's amazing. It's exceptional tool for a proactive guardian, if I can put it that way. On her side, she absolutely loves is it the social clubs? What is it? Yes. So she's joined the Out of the Oven Club. We do not mind at all because every week we get an amazing treat. Today she's busy baking scones. I cannot wait until this is done, as much as fun as this is, because I need to go and have my scone. But yes, it's extremely positive, and we are so happy, so happy with our choice. Yes.
I'm so glad to hear that. And hopefully we have also convinced you that this is where she needs to be all the way to matric.
100%.
And then just lastly, you went through this experience last year of needing to think about high school, needing to figure out online brick and mortar. What does that look like? To all of those guardians who are joining us here this evening, who's sitting in that space right now, what advice would you give to them thinking about online high school for their child?
My advice would be that as a guardian, we need to understand that our level of involvement is so much higher. We're required to equip ourselves and our learners with the necessary tools, like familiarizing ourselves with the various applications and their functions, using the Guardian portal to our advantage, keeping open lines of communication. I think that's a very important one, because we don't have the ability to stop by when you're fetching your child from school and have a quick chat with teacher. So there's so many positives to what UCT OHS offers. There's so many advantages to the way everything is taught, and I think that it's so important that we just ensure that that we give our learners the absolute best chances of flourishing and thriving within the space. Make sure that your learner's day is structured and that there's still some sort of routine to school, despite the flexibility of this online high school. I can't think of any other advice right now. I just feel that for us specifically, we loved how the information is provided to us. It works for us. It works for us. That's what I can say. Yeah.
Tamara, thank you so much. I think what you're touching on there is like how important that relationship between school, guardian, and learner is. Because as I've said a couple of times this evening, online school is not brick and mortar school. It does look different. And this really is a partnership for success for every single child at UCT Online High School. Thank you for giving up your time this evening. I hope those scones are delicious, and I'm very sorry that we kept you from them. But thank you so much for joining us this evening and chatting about what it's been like for yourself and your daughter at UCT Online High School.
Thank you for having me.
And that, everybody, is us for this evening. I want to say thank you so much for attending, for giving up your time. I hope that we have piqued your interest. We've answered some of the questions that you had and that you submitted through to us. Please do keep an eye on your inboxes. We'll be sending a couple of follow-up emails with some other answers to questions that came through. Just a reminder as well that you can reach out at any point to our admissions team. Our admissions team are amazing. They know everything about the school, so please ask them all your questions. And I really hope that come middle of January 2026, I have you all on a call again and I can officially welcome you to being part of the UCT Online High School. Thank you so much for your time and have a wonderful evening. Good night, everybody.